Child, why is Ike even there? All right, so we made it to the reunion for season 18 of Married at First Sight. I did not review all of the season. I jumped in um, with a discussion on MM. If you haven't checked out that video, it is available to watch. I said I was just going to jump in for the reunion and then maybe some episodes following. But yeah, let's dive into this reunion. So I like to say everyone looked good. Like, I love the way everyone looked, with an exception of, I wasn't really a fan of MM's dress. I don't know. I just think it wasn't like working for her. And it kind of made me think, is this girl possible? Because it was very flowy. I don't like to assume or anything. I didn't like that dress for her. So let's start with Thomas and Camille. They are still together, so yes to that, which I'm kind of not surprised that they are still together. Before I saw them for this reunion, I didn't think long term they would work out, but based on how they were interacting with each other and that they had made it through a year in that tiny apartment together, I think they are in this for the long haul. So we see that they have moved to a bigger place. And I have to be honest with you, before I say that, Thomas looked good. Thomas looked really good. I fast forward through most of their stuff. Like, I would jump in when I saw Thomas trying to like swallow a baby, but I just think that their scenes are kind of boring. So I fast forward through most of their stuff, but I'm happy that they're still together. And let's move on to our next boring couple. So that would be Carla and Juan. Juan is in a relationship. Well, before I say that, I was surprised that were still like in communication with each other, because the way it left off, Carla was like, I didn't come here for a friendship. So I was surprised that they were still in communication with each other, because I thought it was just going to be a hard chop and it was just going to be, that's it. But yeah, they're still in communication with each other. Juan's in a relationship, Carla is not, but yeah, they seem to be doing well. All right, moving right along to Madison and David. They are still together, and David moved out of the basement into Madison's house, which is, yeah, it's interesting. It's a difference between, if you watch Married to Medicine and you see how King and what's the name, Quad, are having that discussion, and King is like, I don't want to move into your house. Like, that's not what I want to do. David didn't have no problem doing that. So he's in there. Allegedly, they got an investment property together. So that's interesting. David, you could tell he was prepared for war. Like, he wanted to let the world know, and his cast members, that him and Madison were just good. Because I can imagine he's been, of course, being attacked online, both of them, rightfully so, but he was just ready for another round of it, and to just say, hey, this is real, this isn't a rebound or a lust relationship. And I think that's the mindset they came in with. Like, they were ready for war, and they wanted to maintain and profess like this is a real, long-lasting, sustainable relationship. Madison, throughout this entire reunion, was just still kind of defensive, not as much as she was before. I think that in her conversations with Alan, you could tell she was more soft, but she still came across as just not, it's like still a little bit defensive. Not as much, but still. Listen, Michelle still wants to slap Madison, rightfully so, because even though Michelle did not want David, you played in my face. And that's one thing you do, is do not play in my face. So I get wanting to slap her. But the thing that is iffy, and we'll see that they're going to ask David about this at the end of the show, is that timeline, and had they been physically involved with each other. That timeline and that, I don't think they're still being honest with that. And Michelle mentioned that. I don't think David's going to tell us when we come back for part 2. I don't think they're ever going to tell us. All right, moving right along to Alan. Alan is doing well. He's looking good. He's in a relationship, and from what we could see from the picture, it looks like he's with a melanated sister. So, which isn't surprising, but go Alan. And then here comes Madison talking about, oh, she wants to meet her. Girl and Alan, do not let Madison play in your face. No, sister girl, Alan's girl, don't fool around with Madison, because she can't be trusted. My phone just cut off and I ran out of storage, so I'm hoping that it picks up where I need it to pick up. So anyway, let's keep going. You know, I am surprised that the girls are still talking to Madison, because once you break my trust or you disrespect me and I just cannot trust you to be in my circle, I just cut you off. Like, you get no parts of me, because I know that to be around me, to be a part of my life is a blessing. That's something I realize. And once you violate that, no, you get no parts of me. So I am surprised that they're still just chatting it up with her. You don't have, I don't expect them to be mean or rude or disrespectful. I didn't think they were still going to be talking to her. All right, moving right along to MM and Ike. Again, Ike is just there so he won't get fined. I wish he just had not shown up, because his energy is so dragging and negative, like, ugh. But MM is still with that boy who we're gonna see on part 2, just trying to get attention again. He's a weirdo. He's a big weirdo. Like, why would you want to get married? And we'll talk about that in part 2. I'm not even gonna waste the little bit of storage I got left on this phone to talk about that right now. We'll save that for next time. But I did notice, like, and I'm surprised I didn't notice before, that when MM speaks, I don't know if she's giving herself Botox as well, but her face doesn't move, and she's kind of like talking like she's looking to the side while she's talking, like her head or her face doesn't move. And she kind of talks through her teeth as well. Something that Trisha does from, what's that? Huntsville, Love and Marriage Huntsville. She talks that way as well. That's just random thing I noticed this episode. Again, why is Ike there? Ugh, he gets on my nerves. I must say that I was surprised that he was a little bit, just a teeny bit more honest this episode, because he finally admitted what we all knew, that he was not attracted to her from the jump. And then when he saw her status and he saw that apartment and what her business is, he really wasn't attracted to her then. So I'm glad that he was finally able to admit that. It looks like on the next episode that he does walk out, and I want to see, and I feel like maybe Pastor Cal, based on the editing that Lifetime is doing for the previews, that Pastor Cal actually calls him out on his bullshit. So, and he, of course, he can't take accountability or being called out on his shenanigans. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. So yeah, next week it looks like we get some more group sessions. We get some sessions with the experts. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Let me know what your thoughts were on part 1 of the Married at First Sight. What is this, season 18 reunion? And I will see you guys next week for part 2. Peace.